guys, and welcome back to Life with Casey. I am extremely excited. I just think I hit my cheek, but anyway, I am extremely excited to have you guys here with me today. Today is going to be a really awesome day because it's going to be a question and answer segment, and we have a guest speaker, y'all. Woo woo! Right? This is going to be Prophet Nicholas Terry as he comes and help me answer the question: why is forgiveness better than revenge? So let's invite Prophet Nicholas Terry on the platform.
Good morning, everyone. This is Nicholas Terry on this beautiful Saturday morning. Hope everyone is well. So I have the amazing privilege and an unfortunate one in many ways to discuss why is forgiveness better than revenge. First of all, we must understand what is forgiveness. Because I think we live in a world now where we say we forgive, but we really don't understand what forgiveness actually is. A lot of times when we hear the word forgiveness, we think, oh, I'm sorry, or oh, I'll apologize. Not necessarily all the time. Because how many of you have had people say they're sorry, but yet do the same thing over and over? How many times have you apologized and done the same thing over and over? So basically, let's break this whole thing down of forgiveness and what it really is. When we say the word forgiveness, we are basically saying, not just I'm sorry, but I am going to change. And when I say change, I mean really change. Because we say that we're going to change and we really don't change. We say that we're not going to do this again, but we really do it again. And we don't necessarily mean it. We say it with our mouths, but do we mean it with our hearts? Because it's a heart issue first, before it ever becomes an action. Forgiveness should come deep down first. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Because initially, and contrary to popular belief, forgiveness is sweeter than revenge. Granted, it is more difficult. Because to forgive, you got to be a bigger person. As difficult as it is, I know some of you are going to say, oh, but they did this, or they hurt me in this area, or they broke my heart. True, they may have done that. And I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But what I'm saying is, can you forgive in spite of how you feel? Because forgiveness itself is not a feeling. Your emotions can be all jacked up, but you still forgive. You don't have to be initially well again before you forgive, not necessarily. Because sometimes it takes years for that pain to go away. And even if it does go away, you're not going to be the same after it's over. And this whole issue of revenge, I'm going to touch on that right quick. Or I might need to say on it again, depending on what God says. First of all, revenge is something you really don't want to do. Because revenge itself is never fully satisfied. Revenge is never fully satisfied. We say that it is, but initially it isn't, because instead of it leaving you better, it leaves you worse. Because when you get revenge, you are also going to have to deal with the regret of what you did, of initially saying, could I have handled that differently? Yes, you could have done that differently. Yes, but my ex hurt me, so I ran him over with the car. No, you don't do that. Because Paul said it best. All things are permissible to me, but that doesn't make it right. You could hit him with your car, but it ain't right. You could call that person again and cuss them out, but is it right? I'm just saying. Because let's touch on it like this too. Would Jesus want you to have revenge? Granted, now think about what I'm asking you right quick when I ask this question. Because you're talking about Jesus here. Yes, we know him as the Son of God. We know him as the Messiah. We know him as all these amazing things, the Son of the Virgin Mary, and so forth and so on. But we also must realize that Jesus was a man too, with human qualities, faultless, perfect beyond measure, but he still had feelings and emotions. When I can't think of a better, clear aspect than on the cross. Because think about that right quick. Jesus has been nailed to a cross now, dying for the sins of the world. Everything you could think of, he carried on his shoulders. Betrayed beyond measure by one of his closest. He was left and alone, deserted by his own people, by his own disciples. Think about that. He was whipped, he was beaten beyond measure, beyond recognition. Crown of thorns placed into his head, pressed into his head. If you want to have a better picture of it, look at the movie The Passion. Because that's what he did. He did it out of passion. For those who wouldn't love him back. For those who would hurt him time and time again. Even those Christians in the church do it too. We hurt him time and time again, as well as hurt people. So if anyone has an issue, has a good reason to be bitter, it would be God. Because you took his son and you hurt him. You beat him worse than anything any human life could have even imagined. But yet he still forgave you. Yes, I want you to think about that for a minute. If a holy God could still love you after what you did to his son, and continuously do, what is your excuse? Why are you holding on to what happened? Even though it is understandable. I know I'm coming hard out the gate with this, but it has to be said. Revenge does not make you the bigger person. Forgiveness does. Think about that for a minute, because if you take revenge, you are basically giving power over to the person who hurt you. And if you take revenge, you are not fully healed. Think about that. If you take revenge, Some of y'all, you either did it, you're thinking about it, or you're in the middle of it. You are not going to fully heal if you take revenge. You will only fully heal when you forgive. Contrary to popular belief, that is how it is. And I know you're asking, how can I forgive? First of all, you must forgive yourself. First. Because we can allow ourselves to be entrapped by what people have did. We can. So you must forgive yourself for trapping yourself as well as hurting yourself. But then also, can you forgive the person who's asking you for forgiveness? Can you forgive them? Look at that, even the dog agrees. And can you be big enough to not let what happened define you? Because you are bigger than what has happened. You are bigger than what was done to you, as hurtful as it is, because that is how many ways we mess up with relationships, is because we don't know forgiveness. Because you are dealing with imperfect people. Sometimes people that you love can do something so hurtful that you think you can't forgive. And I'm going to touch on that right now. Forgiveness does not always mean access. It doesn't. Just because you forgive people does not mean you should allow them back into your life. So if that means I forgive you, but I stay on the other side of the street and you stay on yours, that's fine. And I didn't say that I didn't forgive you, because I did, but I am not going to no longer associate with you, depending on how bad it is. Because if I was to take $20 out of your purse or your wallet, and I say I'm your friend, and do something with it, as in probably go buy drugs or probably buy something that I know I have no business buying, and I say that I am your friend, would you allow me back into that space again? And let's look at it like this too. You needed that $20 for something. Or for instance, I'm going to get a little deep into a hole with this one. For the abused and the brokenhearted out there, you can forgive because I feel deep down that some of y'all has to do with family. You can forgive that family member, but don't want to be around them. You are not wrong for that. You are not wrong for that. And sometimes that is best for you not to be around them until you are fully, I'll say it like this. You can forgive that person, which is possible, by the way, but no longer have anything to do with them, which is fine. You have permission to do that. I'm going to free you from that today, because a lot of people think, if I forgive my abuser, do I have to associate with them? Not necessarily you don't have to. You can forgive and stay far away. And sometimes that is best. You staying away is an option. Forgiveness is something you have to do. Because if you don't, it will bleed over into everything else. You will be hurt even more if you don't forgive. And only that can come from God. Real forgiveness is something that only He can help you with. This is not something you can conjure up in your own strength. It is possible to forgive. You can forgive. You don't have to stay in what hurt you. Nor do you have to stay in the past with what was done to you. You can be free. Because freedom is possible. It really is possible.
What do you have to say after that? I don't have anything to say after that. That is like literally, I don't have anything to say. But what I can say though is have a blessed have a blessed and productive day. You beautiful people, just forgive. Just forgive, right?